Hello and welcome to episode 26 of our Timberborn 1.0 Waterbeavers playthrough, cycle 25, day 12, where last time we got some big trees planted, and some unbelievably tall bamboo planted, and some grapes. And there's so much more. I gotta hide this so I can actually see what's going on. But we've got some interesting stuff to take care of today based on comments that I've received. And one of those is that I've been told the new way that these sequoias work is they don't actually take up the space underneath the tree except where the trunk and the planting flag are, which means we can plant grapes. Don't you just love to see it? So I can put grapes there. I can put another sequoia right here. And then as things get cleaned up a little bit more, we can put a few others depending on how the game wants to allow me to do what I want to do. But I thought that was worth mentioning. And also, thank you very much to the Warmaster72 for updating compatibility on goods consumption and goods production stuff. So, man oh man, is this going to be a lifesaver going forward with all these things that I'm constantly complaining about not having any idea what's happening with them. So that's very, very, very good. So I really, really, genuinely cannot express how much of a help that is. Thank you very much for taking care of that and letting me know about it. Beyond that, we've got more deep water pumps. We got them connected with zipline stations. And this right here is practically begging to be connected here. That is something that you guys did mention. So we'll be doing that at some point. I just need to make sure I've got enough blueprints, and I do. So why don't we just, for the time being, think carefully about how we want to do this. I might just put regular zipline stations in. See how far away I can get this. I think these have a range of 30. Wow, I did not think that was going to go all the way over there. I know it won't go over here, but wowee. Let's go ahead, because this is going to have, actually, theoretically, it shouldn't have any bad water ever. But it looks like, okay, that'll fit there, but it won't fit here. No, it will fit there, but it won't fit here. And that won't fit unless we go here. So there's some really, I guess we could say strange math happening here. Anyway, I think it's going to be a smart idea for us to put one of these maybe right about here. And then remove the large pile. Get this hooked up with a path. I know it's ugly. It's going to be okay. And then all we have to do is just get stuff connected. Maybe this reaches? No, 44. Okay. So the problem we're going to run into with this is the pylons are only good for 20. And, oh. Okay, so that would work there, but not, because this hangs off the side of the tower. That ends up being a little bit of a pain in the butt. Can I? No, I cannot. How far over can I get this? Because, you know, there is a scenario where it might make sense for us to have access down in here. I mainly just want this to be connected without it being a huge pain in the butt. But we don't necessarily have to have another station here. Can I? Okay, so that's as far as that can go. The trees are going to be in the way. They can build this, and it won't be that big of a deal. So we might as well just do this. And just be done with it. And that is 27 meters, and it's also... Oh, the trees are in the way. Let's not do that. Let's use caution here. I may have to... No, you know what? It's not worth messing with. I'm just going to put another one of these down here. I know it's a house. Wait, actually, no, that makes it worse. No. We can't do that. We have... Oh, we have so many annoying things we have to deal with this. Oh, sheesh. Alright, well, if I put this high enough here, it should allow this to work. The big deal here is I don't want this to be obstructed by the trees, and it doesn't look like the tree's the issue. That is now 19 meters, so maybe... Alright, this is just... It's just easier to do this paused. That fits. Okay. Now, that is Thing keeps hiding on me. Yeah, okay. So we know that will work. We know this will be fine. I'm just gonna put this here. Should make it just a tiny bit easier. Alright, so what that's going to do is that's going to allow us to have better access to this area for stuff like growing food. And also having direct access here to here. Does not seem like a bad idea. We also have all of this scrap metal that, you know, to be perfectly honest, we don't really need right now, but at some point we will want to use. So I don't want to do anything about it at this exact moment. But it's on the list. We have a bunch of water pumps over here. I was going to be deepening these because I wanted to have more pumpability. But then we used all of the, what do you call it, dynamite to do this. And I'm about 99% sure a 3 deep thing is going to be almost impossible to flood. We have this area over here that someone said, well, why don't you just go back here and deepen this more? And I said, well, okay, well, maybe. Thought it was a pretty good idea. But it's not exactly super high on my priority list at the moment. We'll keep that in mind. But maybe the most pressing thing for right now is the ENS, which, I forget which one was making the blueprint. I should actually... Oh, we already collected the blueprints. There you go. ENS Mechanical and Architectural. So we have those ready to go. This has finished, so we're going to pause that again. Yeah, we just have to have somewhere for the ENS to go. And that was one of those things I think I said last... I got to hide this again. I think I said last episode I had no idea where it was going to go because this map is not exactly set up to be a great thing for that. Oh, I can't see because of these stupid bamboo. Why did I do this to myself? I cannot get underneath this. I have to have a piece of path here. No, I needed this connected. That's what was missing. Okay. So this is going to give us plant fibers, which we have the ability to collect with a lumberjack flag, or minty bamboo shoots, which we collect with a gatherer flag. I believe currently, not the beaver, the lumberjack flag is in range to get plant fibers for these. So if we're getting plant fibers, that does mean we don't have to have these florists doing plant fibers anymore, and some of them can instead be making berries, which we do desperately need. So we'll see what happens. We've got a lot of time. We've got a lot of stuff we have to take care of in addition to this, so I don't necessarily need to make that the #1 goal, but that is something we can do. And then I was asked if libraries could be stacked. And I said I had no idea. But it doesn't seem like it wants to let me do it. That doesn't necessarily mean that it can't, but I know the game is very temperamental when placing stuff like this. And to my mind, I would think that it would have to have a support underneath everything, and this doesn't let you do that. Now, if we had the ability to build these and then overhangs and stuff to put a platform, then maybe it would work. But I don't think that's necessarily something we want to do. Look at this. We're getting plenty of use on these zip lines, which is nice to see. Love to see that. We've got all this over here, which, you know, is a good opportunity to talk about this. I put a levee here because I wanted to block this tunnel off. But I was reminded that we might as well, since there's nothing else going on in here, might as well not put it there and instead put it all the way back up here as far as we can go. And that would prevent a lot of this from being poisoned. So, I think what will make the most sense, since they haven't even gotten back here yet, come through here, put a staircase, Now, do note that in 2.2 days, we're going to have a bad tide, and then they're going to have a very bad day if they're coming in here. So why don't we prioritize this? Make this the biggest thing these guys can do, because keeping this clean during a bad tide is going to do wonders for quite literally everything we have going on here. I'm just going to have this be like that. Walk in through here, it's going to be way faster. Make sure this is marked. Yeah, and if we've got enough builders, they should be able to do that. We'll probably have to keep an eye on it, which means I'm most likely going to forget. You know how that goes. Let's see. Oh, before we get too far, since this is not going to be connected anymore because I wanted to protect these lotus flowers, I'm just going to go ahead and say that this whole path can go away. All the way down to the stairs. We do still need the stairs so they can get down there. But this is going to be a tremendous, tremendous help. That being said, we do need to make sure once we actually use lotus flowers that they can still gather these things. I'm not entirely sure that they can. But, you know, you got to stay ahead of this stuff. And sometimes it's easy not to do that. So we're going to have these guys get to planting again. You know how that goes. They're not giant sequoias. The golden sequoias cannot be used until we have the advanced sawmill, which was a very good point that was brought up. Needs 2,000 science, and it requires these sparkly steel saw blades. And normally, to make those, you have to have the high temperature foundry. But I had an idea, and I guess we're going to find out in real time if I misremembered or not. But I believe there is a recipe in the trading balloon for those. And it is entirely possible that... Aha! Here it is! Here it is, boys and girls! We can get them for 30 of the magical brain juice. Whatever that's called. Brain-stimulating bath salts, whatever crazy stuff. That means that we do not have to... Not only don't have to research and build the high-temperature foundry, we don't have to have the Masters in Metallurgy from the ENS that we haven't even built yet. And you will note that the advanced sawmill does not require a degree. So that saves us a huge quantity of time and science and resources. And I love it when I get away with garbage for no reason. So let's go ahead and, since this is already paused, and I don't need more exotic seeds for the time being. I don't know that I have a spot I can really reasonably put another balloon trader landing pad. And I am going to get these materials back. So I'm just going to say, not the Peacock Court. We'll talk about that later. Scouting balloon. Is it better to have the... Nah, we'll get rid of the Folktales one. And then we will research the Iron Teeth. And also, they have a recipe for berries, by the way. So this, for what we're trying to do right now is... Oh, how do I... Okay. Yeah. This is going to be just a big, big improvement for what we're trying to do. I can't really do anything with the steel saw blades yet. But I don't think it is a bad idea to have that ready to go. And I already have a glorious storage for 10 of those. So there you go. All we have to do to be able to make use of these things, you know, once we actually get the golden sequoia fellers and all that, is have 2,000 science and all of these other things which we are pretty much good to go with. I feel like I just got away with robbery. But we're going to move on. The ENS is still a very, very important thing for us to do, even though you can't see half of the overlay for it because of the UI scaling. And that does cost 2,000 science. So, based on how many days we have going for these, I mean, we still have, what, 35-ish days? 36, 37? Which, depending on how we want to do things, could be enough to get science out of the library to the degree of researching the advanced sawmill. I don't know about getting the ENS, but, you know, the ENS is very important. And I think, anyway, what I was going to say, all this other stuff notwithstanding, is I think it's going to be best to make another library and try to boost our science production. We will need to have more berries, but everything else, for the most part, is looking pretty good. Kimchi's kimchi, it's fine. But I just need to find another spot for a library that is kind of near here. I know the building is not going to want to be completely buried. So, easiest thing to do, to be perfectly honest with you, I think, is to come over here, use some of our 183 scaffoldings, and just build ourselves another way to get in to the library. But I don't know... That's probably okay. Just being elevated 1. And this would be... Is it a 4x4 or a 3x4? I guess we'll find out. Aha, 4x4. So, why put this here? You may be wondering. Well, because I can. And second of all, because this little balcony here can be connected, and we can have this come up to this other side relatively easily. And that will give us another means of getting in and out. Not the burger joint, but I digress. Where's the doorway on this? Please tell me. Oh, that didn't help at all. Okay, well, I guess that is, Oh, there it is. Okay, well, that answers that question. Anyway, they are going to build this because we do have the incredibly compact library set. And they're going to get more science going, which having this directly connected to the same set of resources I think just makes more sense. We've got kimchi brewing. We probably, scratch that, definitely need to be making more of that. Not always the easiest thing to do, but I'm not sure they're going through this fast enough for it to be a problem anyway. So we're gonna let them do what they got to do with this. We'll come back and check on it later. We have 1.2 days left. It is time to go check on what we have going on down here. Okay, well, you know what? That was certainly worth doing, now that that is completely blocked off and should not be a problem. And then we have this tunnel here that I said previously was really not going to be like worth our time doing, but you know what? I will humor you. And I will say that we can go ahead and take advantage of that. The only issue right now being that accessibility is not really a super easy thing. But we can easily enough get over here. And easily enough get this scavenger flag to take some of this stuff out. And I should not block that part. So let's pop that right there. They'll get this cleaned up. I mean, there's already a slope in here, so that just seems really convenient. To my knowledge, this does not overflow with anything. And we just have to get across to the other side. Which, come to think of it, we already have access over here with this suspension bridge. And maybe... This isn't even connected here, is it? No, it's not. Maybe it would make sense to have them come down from... But anyway, you get the idea. I think this is going to be usable, and it'll be fine. So we have 1 day left. Let's keep this paused. Thank you, autosave. If it's a bad tide, and we know there's not going to be any bad water coming through here because all of this bad water is now being shunted off the side of the map, we could actually dam this up. And I think I can build one of these in 1 day, provided it's just a single... I think this should block. Well, we'll find out. Let's make that the top priority. See if they can build it in a day. If they can, great. If they can't, then, well, that's the way it goes. But I do really like the idea of that being taken care of. And also having more water to pump, because that needs to continuously be improved. It looks like we're going to be in good shape if they can get these metal fasteners. Look at them go. Look at them go. They are doing such a good job. And it looks like this is still coming through here to a certain extent, but this has been, you know, enough extra water in here that can be pumped, and I think that's good. We can, of course, keep adding, keep improving that. This is going to have a little tiny bit of poison. This is going to hopefully have none. These have been massively improved. So many things. We're going to want to take a look at what does and does not get infected here, and then make decisions based on that. This area, once these trees get harvested, I was going to blast straight. We'll see. We will see what happens. We've got this area here that can also be done, but that was before I knew that I couldn't really reach too much of this. We'll see. We're not, you know, firmly wedded to doing this way just because that's the way it is. We can be open to doing something different. This library is still being constructed because it does take time. It builds like a wonder. Let's see. While we're over here, I think it was on this side somebody mentioned berries. Or were they thinking about this other one? Okay, we've got those. Oh, it has to be right here. Yeah, we've got a lot of berries that are not being harvested, and, you know, probably would like to be harvested, if the berries are even capable of thought. We have a zipline station kind of right here, so why don't we do this? Because, you know, we need the berries. I can't really put anything here, but I can put a staircase there. And I know this is supremely ugly, but it's going to be okay. I can just pop... Oh, they can't... Oh, never mind! Never mind. Oh, I didn't need to do that. I could have actually... Oh, well. Dynamite here. And then a ladder probably would be the better option. Paths are free. No, no, no. Don't go that way. Go this way. Alright, hurry up. Okay, for kaboom. And the ladder there is going to allow us to get all the way down here, which means we can get a gatherer's flag. And we can get the blueberries, and I guess they can technically do the pines as well. Now, this tapper's shack, to my knowledge, cannot do berries. But we will check anyway. Harvester's office is what it needs. So, you know, this is, again, not the perfect solution. Who is blue? It's not blue. It's like a teal. It's battery smooth. The smoothest of batteries. I don't know what that was about. That's going to help. Maybe we can put a thing here. We'll see. But I feel like we've made some pretty good improvements. This is progressing. They can remove this stuff without being able to walk through here with the path, but the path does have to be in place for us to actually build too much else. We will get there. We will get there. Water pumps, again, we already kind of talked about that. Don't really need to have a ton of them right here. I guess now I have enough explosives to do this, but you know how it goes. Still building that. They planted some of these. I know they can't reach. Yeah, they can't reach very much more of this without these stairs being here. But as soon as they put the stairs in, they're going to start harvesting everything. And that's not exactly what I want. So, if we prioritize planting of lotuses and not harvesting, and we make them pinky swear, maybe it won't be a problem. So I suppose now is the time. I say as it's overnight before the start of a bad tide, when I probably should be managing other things, but it's alright. We're just going to have to wait and see what happens. This is the slowest overnight ever. I should not have waited here. Oh well. Life goes on. 5-day bad tide. I do need to make sure that this is all set up fine. I'm like 90% sure we're not going to have any problems. That's okay. This hasn't backflowed. Let's check the depth. Oh, it's just getting started, but yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. This, of course, is not leaking because how could it possibly leak? I just need them to plant. I do not want them to destroy. Alright. Come forth with the planks. And plant. Do not harvest. Plant. And when you are done planting, then you can get the heck out of here. Okay, that's as far as they can go. No more stairs. Go do something else. Oh, see, they harvested some of these. They harvested some of these. I knew it was going to happen. They are just addicted to destruction. Have an appetite for it, even. Alright, well, that's not ideal. This is continuing slower than Christmas. Grapes under the sequoias coming in yet? Okay, these are growing grapes. I don't think we've actually harvested any grapes yet. We're going to want to probably have a storage for those. This would not be a bad thing to put over here, actually. This should not have been built there because that's going to preclude me from putting anything in. Alright, well, the first thing we can do is we can move that staircase there. Because what I'm going to have to do here is put in additional storage, which, you know, honestly, I probably should just be stacking instead of doing this way. Yeah, this is really not the best way to be doing this. I don't have that L-shaped corner platform in it. Oh, I do. I do, but it's 200 science that I don't want to spend. Okay, overhang walkway can then have a skewer attached to it. Why not? Why not? We commit all sorts of crimes every day. What's one more? Okay. What was I putting in here? Ah, yes, grapes. Well, it's gonna be fine. Is it gonna be great? No. But it's gonna be fine. Okay, that's still going. Yeah, we gotta talk about the calculatorium. I've been accused of crimes against Skyrim and her people and the Waterbeavers at the same time by putting these in like this, and especially this exit pump relay. And I just gotta say, look, you chose this. You made the building work this way. All jokes aside, when it becomes a problem, we will redo it. I hate I hate messing with automation so much. I'd rather not redo it until I'm absolutely sure that's what I'm going to be having to do. So these have been paused. They don't necessarily have to be paused. But I think for now we can leave these paused because I also do want to start growing some stuff over here. Food-wise, we still have a pretty big need for cabbage. And surprisingly, it's looking like rice also. There are no stairs here anymore. Which means this... Okay, that's making sake. We should probably move that. So that's got a first floor entrance. We really don't need this to be a fermentation house, honestly. We can just make barrels. And I know I really liked these because, oh, it's a waterproof building I can use to plug holes. Like, well, you know, you don't always have to plug holes. You can just leave them there. Now that we have most of the other stuff taken care of. But we are going to need to have somewhere we can put some amount of those barrels in. But here, I don't know that here's the right spot. Regardless, we've got a critical mass of farmhouses right here. It just makes sense to plant more rice in this area. So, before we expand too much of everything else, I am going to do that. But yeah, finding a spot for barrels is not exactly a fun thing. This cooking tent doesn't really have to be here either, but that's where it's at right now. One thing I don't remember checking is if the barrels are going to cry about being slightly underwater. And they are... I mean, they don't say they can be underwater, but... Are these... They are not. Not that it really matters, but it's always good to check on that. I am aware we are probably never going to agree on the prioritization by haulers. It's okay. It's going to be fine. Okay, we have grape storage ready. How close are we on these? That's at 30%. That's at 17. I think this is the first tree. So we do have time. Remember, we have to have the feller first, because we have to have the logs to build this. So really, we're looking at 2,300 science. We can still store, I think it's what, they hold like five of these in the feller, and then you have to have the giant storage. And one tree is 2 logs? Yes. And this has to be within range of the sequoias themselves. I think I can check this without it actually being built. That is not in range. So yeah, this is not going to be a fun thing, huh? I could technically fit this here. Yeah, this just isn't going to be enough of range to do anything in this spot. Unless I had another, and I can't see anything. Unless I had another thing to get down to this side, which... Grapevine. It's 45%. You know what? I'm not going to lose my mind over this. I'm just going to lose the vine over this. Man, remember Vine? Well, I guess it indirectly led to TikTok, so it can't be that good. There's something really funny about having to be creative with only 6 seconds of runtime. I digress. Let's grab this grapevine out of here. I'm going to put some stairs in, and then hopefully I can just put this feller right here, and then that'd be okay. I know it's not the perfect spot for it to go, but we currently have ruins here that are in the way, and I really don't want to mess with that. So... stairs facing that way, and then going ahead to research this even though we don't technically need it yet. Having it in place so we can set it and forget it is going to be great. That can actually reach almost everything. Move this over one more. I wonder if it's going to get these even though the entire tree is not in. So, I wonder if it has to be where the flag is. Well, you know, oh, that can't even reach all that either. Oh, my poor grapes. Well, we don't have a use for them anyway, so guess what? Oh boy, I'm gonna have to, the vines aren't destroyed when you harvest grapes, so you do have to manually destroy them, but I do want to at least get a little bit of grape harvest out of them. So now I have to ask you to remind me to put this closer to here where we can actually reach all the trees. Now it's on you. You can't see what I'm pointing at the screen. This is still not done, really? Alright, well... all of this to say, I do think we need to be farming over here. And I got distracted by the rice. I think it will be necessary for us to maybe have more rice. But definitely cabbages. And it's going to be a long time before we get to Clockwork Hydroponic Farms, so for now... let's do this. Come over here with our bridges. I think I can get away with a... those aren't the same height at all. Oh, man. Alright, well, this will have to be good enough. And then I can just put stairs here from the end of that. We'll come in here. We do not need to save these trees. I'm not going to cry one single tear. I got 1,400 logs. Just get them out of here. And, yeah... honestly, just using this for planting right now makes the most sense. I don't want this to be flooded. But we can, if we want to be careful, and we want to be smart, which everyone should strive to be smart and make good choices, but I do recognize that's not always possible, especially if your name is me. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to place the farmhouses on the stilts here. And what that is going to allow them to do is come through the zip line. And also, by proxy, I guess get a little bit of extra range for some of these. We're going to plant cabbages. And down here we're going to plant rice. Because we have the space. And we need the rice. Not going to plant underneath the pumps, though. Even though I don't know that that would really be a big problem. I don't think we need to have a path down there for the stairs. But I'm pretty sure... yeah, we could actually get all the way to this. So hopefully, this works out fine. We can put assistant farmers. We could even put an upgrade for farmers or something on here. And it will be good enough. We can plant stuff back here, so on and so forth. We just need this. Like, objectively, we need this. Yes, it will add population, but population adding does not have to be the boogeyman. As long as we, you know, increase the amount of food and the amount of water that we're getting at any given time. So before they plant this, I need to unmark these 3. This one little baby tree can go away because I want to put another set of pumps here. These guys can now have... oh, you know, maybe we should have sunflower seeds and cabbage. So maybe I just do something dumb like this. Just plant it in stripes. Is this great? Eh. You could argue that it's not. But, if nothing else, it will at least look nice. Which I suppose is also a matter of taste. But we are doing something to help, and that's what matters. So away we go. Let's bring in another deep water pump. And another upgrade. So we are adding 2 pumping jobs and 3 beavers, which I think is fine. We'll come back and fix that at some point. Do we have... yes, we do. We have a steel saw blade. That is good news. Oh. Man. The library is flooded. You know, I really should have guessed that the library would not like being flooded. Well, we learned something today. And that something is that the library cannot be flooded. Or rather, that the library can be flooded, and it should not be. So, we will instead have to start this thing over again. Move it up 1 block, which, you know, is still okay. Get this in here. And then, I suppose, I get to find out if I can justify putting a staircase underneath the signboard. It doesn't look like it's going to let me do that. So, once again, the news board can be removed. And in its place, I can stick a path, and then... you know what? Actually, this would give us a good opportunity to place in a couple more fermentation barrels here next to the library. And you know what we can... oh, I'm so smart. You know what we can do is we can make kimchi in these for the library. Don't you love it when a plan comes together completely by accident? I know I do. Alright, news board. We will just relocate you right there. And, of course, now they have this enormous mess to clean up, but they'll take care of it. Hopefully. This is actually probably gonna be okay over here. Alright. So we know these guys are going to do what they're going to do. I can't remember if the farmer upgrade adds beavers, and it does. Okay. Well, you know, before we get too cocky here. Okay, there is a very limited amount of bonus beavers that we can do with these. This farmhouse doesn't really have much. Yeah. Well, all right. I shouldn't be upset with this. Honestly, this is probably fine. If we start having a lot of unharvested stuff, then we know we have to make a change, but probably all right. Okay, 64%. Need to make sure we get at least one harvest of grapes. Oh, fried rice is looking really low. That's probably because we don't have a lot of rice. Probably could have told you that. Okay, half-fermented sake party's over, because that does not need to be a house. And we can just remove this entirely, since there's stairs to here. So, this can all be rice. This depth sensor should probably be moved somewhere else. And since this is already here, that's set to 0.65. This is not going to automatically change that, so I need to set that to 2.65. We're during a bad tide, so it doesn't matter that this goes away, as long as that gets rebuilt. Famous last words. Alright, so we've added a decent bit of rice here. That should help. This primitive smelter probably doesn't need to exist anymore, to be perfectly honest with you, because we have tons of scrap metal. So, goodbye. You're never going to guess what's going here. If you guessed rice, congratulations, you guessed correctly. Once again, it's a nighttime when I'm trying to talk about stuff. We've got at least one shiny steel saw blade, which is good. Our library experiment has not really gone the way that I wanted it to, but we're still coming out ahead. Pumping-wise, we got 2 days left, and this is fine. But pumping out of here is still, I think, going to be a much, much better option. This is the bottom of the map. So, oh, this one was not set to turn off. What's the crybaby? Okay, 9 days. That's fine. That is fine. Alright, these are paused during that. I need to also automate this to exit pumps, and then that also to exit pumps. Somebody said, why didn't you name this Drought Gary or Bad Tide Gary or whatever it was? And I just kind of didn't want to. It's alright. Cabbage time, cabbage time, cabbage time. And now it's sunflower time. Ah, I forgot. Oh, I didn't unmark the slope. Okay, well, that's unfortunate because now this is going to be slightly more annoying to deal with. Well, you know what? It doesn't have to be because all I've got to do is just move this path down here, and now that can just come from that zip line. I want to blast this down to here. Yeah, we'll just go to this spot. Seems okay. Because I know these guys can probably plant basically all the way to there. And you know what? This spot right here. And these... No. This can be a path. This can be a staircase. And then we can probably plant rice all the way down here. So we'll give that a shot. We have the technology. Should I go ahead and... yeah, why not? I don't think they can reach over it. Come on, let me click on this. Oh! Okay. Well, I will consider that to be a decent success then. Let's put a ladder here. Oh, no, 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 no. We forgot. I forgot. You probably didn't forget. You guys are smart. I was going to blast this down. Or, somebody said I could plant more sequoias here, but I think this is going to be enough. Especially if we start doing it early. Okay, 85%. Keep that going. We planted more rice. We are working on this. They are going to take their sweet time. Whoa, we've got actually more that we can do here. Don't need these stairs. Never miss a shave and a haircut. I know it's ironic, the guy whose identity is based around facial hair, to say never miss a shave or a haircut, but it's the bit, not the reality. Okay. That's fine. They are going to take their time doing this. That's okay. Probably could actually use this to plant more, this being the zip lines, to plant more of these Everblossoms. I think this is okay for now. I know I need to redo that. I'm not doing it right now. Berries are doing something. It seems like that's working okay. Now that we have the bad tide thing much better of a solution, I think it's not going to be a bad idea for us to try and keep the water level higher here. But that's not really going to be simple because, you know, Waterbeavers has the whole terrain block being 1,000 units of dirt thing, which is not great. Not great. But we're doing okay. Oh, I was going to check the contamination, but then I remembered this was set to on, so I'm going to pause this. Okay, so that immediately is poisoning these, so we know it's going to get actually bad. Let's turn this back on. And get that fixed, please, and thank you. Okay, good. So now we know. Our friend Mike, who said that we should probably deepen this, was correct. Problem is going to be getting the beavers in here. Not a thing right now, so maybe, I guess, remind me next episode to take a look at that. We have so many other things we're trying to do right now. This bugs me. This little Tetris piece here, shaped thing, well, I guess it's a little longer on the sides, but that is aggravating because they were specifically harvesting when I told them not to. You know how that goes. Okay, this is making good progress over here. Let's get the rest of those put down. And we'll put in the stairs right there. Yeah, look at that. We've got so much more room for rice. Love to see it. And this should, hopefully, most of this, allow us to do some more stripe over here. And we could... No, we can't reach over here, but I was going to say maybe this is a good spot to have... Why can't I words? Well, what we could do is we could go ahead and blast this out and have it be a larger pool to pump from, but I don't think we need to be worried about that at this exact moment in time. New library is still in the process of being libraried. This needs to be deprioritized and then reprioritized. And kimchi is, of course, a necessary thing. Cabbage numbers aren't really going to take a big boost from... It's always nighttime when I'm talking. Cabbage numbers aren't going to take a big boost from that, so we're going to have to rely on cabbage being improved over here. Eventually. I'm not entirely sure what to think about that, but yeah, food numbers are really not looking fantastic. I mean, I was hoping these sunflowers were going to make a huge difference here, but we're still out. It's like the insatiable sunflower appetite. How are we looking here? We're at 38%. All right, we got time. 718 science. I still have not started building the ENS. Now, the ENS does require the library set that I've just put into another library, but we can actually get almost everything else put in once we research it, of course. I just have to decide if it's worth doing the ENS first or the advanced sawmill. Well, skipping the degree that requires the steel saw blades. Well, I don't think we're going to really have a choice but to build the ENS first. As much as I hate to say it. Oh, I forgot this had to be double depth. Alright, well, that's on me. It's alright. No grapes yet. But these have been harvested, so... Time for that to go bye-bye. And then I suppose I just have to put in platforms, or if this is going to be dry all the time, the better thing to do would be to put a warehouse directly underneath for something. Like what else? Oh, you know what would make sense is bamboo shoots, because those are going to be pulled out of here. That... What in the world kind of... I didn't think this was planted up here. That can't be there. That cannot be there. And these also have to go away, except I think that's just one piece. Do I have the 75 sites? Well, maybe I'm better off because I already have the pile unlocked. Yeah, I'll just build that. This could be a decent spot to put something that would be useful, like, let's actually check what happens with this. You know what? It's probably not a bad idea to have overflow storage for something like sawdust, which seems to be just a tremendously annoying problem no matter what. Come on, beavers. Okay. Just so we can make sure this is actually... Aw, are you serious? It's these stupid zip lines, man. Man. Don't get aggravated. It's only a game. Well, it's fine. It's fine. I'm not going to get mad about it. Says the one who's definitely getting bothered about it. A long tiny pile goes here again. I guess it's alright. What in the world could I possibly put here that's not going to be a disaster? I guess just logs. Sure, why not? But this one can actually reach all the sequoias, so it was good to move it. Yeah, it's fine. Now we have nice clean water coming in. These are turned on. This is ready to get exploded. Caper kaboom. And look at that. We have so much more room for activities, like growing cabbages. So let me know, do you think the stripes thing is stupid? I might not change it, but I just, would like to know. Oh! They are pumping faster than this can reasonably do anything. Alright. Now the choice has to be made. Do I remove the primitive dam? Or do I trust that it's always going to flow over with enough force soon enough to prevent these from all dying? These have like 3 or 4 day tolerance. There is a tiny bit of bad water in here because probably from here. I think we can leave it alone and be okay. And one thing I really wanted to do and did not last time was finish blasting this out all the way down. I think I needed a 3 deep. Yeah, because these have a maximum depth of 6. So, let's just get that. Not all the way there. No. Get that there. These are all marked. This is ready to get K for kaboom. Do not get blown up. It's your own fault if you do. Okay, that works. Gives them a little bit more to pump from, and these guys, of course. Wow, they did that with a quickness. Don't get blown up. Alright, that works. It's a process. Okay, we still don't have water through here. Probably because this is waiting to get filled up. This, I think, for the purpose of what we're trying to do, can just be all the way up to 2.0, and then this can just always be backed up. Little tiny bit of pollution, but it can all get forced through here in due time. Now this still has to go all the way up enough to come down here. I could divert some of this down here, but I don't know that that's going to be the best thing to do. Oh, they haven't built this. Oh, that was the other thing. Somebody left a comment and I was going to address it, and I forgot. These are done. Somebody said, why don't you switch one of the medium mines to make quartz, because you have a bunch of storage for everything else. And I said, yeah, we probably should. And then I didn't do it. So now we have one on quartz. That works. Grapes are growing in. Yeah, you know what? For right now, just to make sure that this gets some amount of water in it, I am going to lower this. We're going to have to put it back. Don't worry, we're going to put it back, but we do need more water down here just to keep this alive. This may... Okay, now this is coming through. This may actually outpace the amount of water that comes in. We're going to have to see. This is not turning off because that's not finished. Okay, now I have to do some manual crisis management. Let's, yeah, let's just always... You know, this doesn't need to be a floodgate dam unless I want to be able to send water down here, which I guess this is okay. I was going to say that maybe, since we have the ability to... Don't need to have this on triple speed. We should probably fill this in so that it doesn't make any more bad water than necessary. So, this will help. It won't be the perfect solution, but it will help. Just have to be able to get these beavers up here to actually build these, which, for now... Well, stairs are cheap. Imagine me saying that, you know, a couple of, well, I guess like 10 episodes ago, saying stairs are cheap. You would have thought I was insane. All the crying and whining I was doing about it. Okay, now this is overflowing here. Is that a permanent thing or a temporary flow thing? 'Cause I'm starting to think maybe I should have not... Oh, okay, that's just me being dumb. Alright, let's, Oh, am I gonna be able to reach this? We're gonna have to... Yeah, we're gonna have to get rid of... They can't reach this, alright. Well... They're gonna have to get down. So this is where this gets aggravating. Because there's not really a great way to, Not really a great way to do this. Alright. I'm going to have to blast this out, put some stairs in so they can get down here to remove these, so then I can blast this out so I don't have flooded crops on this whole thing. And of course it's nighttime. Because that's what happens. Yeah, it is what it is. Is this other library up yet? Yes. And that is set to slow science. We want that on fast science. We are making kimchi. That seems like it's going okay. Yep, just got to babysit this. It's alright. What else? What else? What else? Oh, we got the big ones here. Now I just have to think about whether they're going to blow these. Wait, hold on. I forgot about these. Okay, for boom. Couldn't tell you what I was doing there, but it was unexploded dynamite that I need to explode. Alright, now what that has done is hopefully given me the ability... Come out at triple speed. Yeah, that's what I wanted to do, is plant the bamboo all the way down here, but I'm trying to remember if I was going to cut down... No, I'm not cutting down the bamboo. I'm harvesting it. The gatherer flag. So once this is getting the Métis bamboo shoots, that's fine. Or I can cut it down. So maybe, do I have a cutter downer that's not this? I don't remember. Well, thank you, autosave. Let's take a look. Lumberjack, lumberjack, lumberjack. I have 5 barns. I don't think any of these are in range. It's hard to see. Yes, they are in range, so I don't need to build anything else. If I want... This is going to be so aggravating. If I want to cut some of these down, I honestly probably could just continuously farm them. They are 1 by 1. They are not 2 by 2 anymore. Apparently that changed a long time ago, and I just never got the memo. So maybe what I should do is closest to here. I have the ability to build that, and I could pretty easily, come on, put in a ladder here. That goes down to there. And I know I can get that to connect. That would allow the lumberjack's barn to get access to all of this directly, And if this doesn't have coverage... No, it does. All right. Wait, no, it doesn't. Okay, okay. So I could have bamboo here that is only used for the purpose of getting plant fibers. Let's pre-mark just this bit. And then I know... Oh, no, it's not going to let me plant bamboo here. Unless... No. Well, it's fine. It's fine. They can still do... No. I always forget about that. They can still do most of what I wanted them to do, and that will be an improvement. That'll get me plant fibers, and, you know, I'm actually still kind of running out of that, so... Is what it is, especially if you're going to be trading rope, which is a recipe that we can do. Forget who has it. Oh, how convenient. We can trade rope for berries. So if we can just make a whole bunch of rope, we can get a whole bunch of berries and not have to worry about planting a whole bunch of berries. I love it when a plan comes together. That's another one of those things I should probably stop saying because I say it too much. But I digress. That's also something I should stop saying. But, not going to do it. Stairs, come in here. Remove, or I could just wait for these things to drown. I guess that was always an option I didn't consider. But, also, if I blast this down, I can put more rice in. Not rice in, but rice in. Two separate words. Pumping continues. I guess this is fine. I should have a tank over here, which I do not, and that is a mistake. So let's put a tank right here, set to water. Set to supply, should be a decent add. Super speed. Come on down. I love how I say super speed and then the beavers do not super speed. Probably not something I should be endorsing anyway. Drive responsibly and within the legal limits of the roadway and your vehicle at all times. This has been a PSA from my lawyer that I definitely don't have. Let's see. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Did they put all of this dynamite in place? It looks like not quite yet. Okay, they're waiting for that. Am I still making the dynamite? That is not the spot where they're making the dynamite. Oh, can I even click on this anymore? I don't know that I can easily click on this. No, that's a crappy platform. Somewhere in here, I should be able to click on the building. That's a fermentation house. Okay, that is not the building that I want. Is it this? That is a storage. Oh, hello there. Which one are you? Eula. Hello, Eula. There it is. Okay, we are, but we are waiting on nitroglycerin. All right, now that we have thoroughly destroyed our eyeballs by zooming all the way in, I think we can leave that alone. I need to check on that, but I also need to come over here. Oh, they're done. Okay, K for kaboom. Will you stop flooding my crops, please? Thank you. Now, look at that. Look at that. Look at us go. Look at us go. We did that. Alright, so food should slowly start turning around. Rice should slowly start turning around. This is now automated. I can unpause that manually. Things are looking up, folks. Things are looking pretty good. And I still have not placed the ENS. So obviously, I can't even research it yet. But we are making great progress. We're not even halfway. We're doing fine. We're doing fine here. Alright. I am very curious, though, to see how fast this can, you know, cut any of these things down. Alright, that's working out. We're doing okay. Forester doing forester things. Maybe some more of this could be blasted down. Maybe it doesn't have to be. I don't know. Why don't we take this opportunity to try and improve some well-being? And that's a very, very common thing people say. You need to improve your well-being. Like, well, you got any ideas? I'm all ears. Why is this? Ah! Well, there's your problem. This was not, this is not set correctly. Alright. I made a terrible mistake. And that was setting it very wrong. Well, this is going to get interesting, because I don't have any more pumps to suck this out. Yeah, okay, well, it's another episode. This guide floods everything all the time anyway. Planted grapes under the squares, built the second library. We were making attempts to fix food. Not going to touch the calculatorium at any point in time, except to fix that. That's supposed to take care of some of this stuff. We are getting steel saw blades. I've got 4. I have storage for 10, and we can change that recipe to get berries later. In fact, why don't we do that now? I say as we're 30% into... Alright, we'll let him finish this one to get 5, and then we'll change it. Because we really should... There we go. See? Everything fixes itself in a long enough timeline. Fried rice. Again, waiting on rice, but we hopefully have mostly fixed that. Do I want to put assistant farmers here? I probably need to... The assistant farmers need the red cabbage. So I need to plant a red cabbage on one of these cabbages. It's not something that I need to keep an eye out for when they harvest another cabbage. Well, at any rate, you know, the assistant farmers it's just a good upgrade to have. Even if it adds population. Okay, I missed an opportunity, but we're not going to miss this one. Red cabbage. There you go. No whiny assistant farmers required. They actually have room to get over here, so I could blast some of this. I don't know that that's really a great idea. Seems like it's fine. Rope storage. If we're going to be trading more rope, then I need to have rope storage near the place it will be traded. This is for library books. It doesn't necessarily have to stay there. Mini crappy warehouse doesn't have to stay there. I will do this. Until such a time as we need to stack these, I'm going to put a big storage for ropes right here. And what I'm going to do is when the time comes for berries, we'll change that. And I suppose, well, the berries are going to get just absolutely obliterated from the start no matter what. Wait, oh, I forgot that's not... Okay. Double platform time. And now this can be for berries. Come on, berries. Where's my berries? There they are. 66. I need that to say 0. Okay, did they get all this in? It looks like they did. Anybody back there? If so, you made bad choices. K for Kaboom. There we go. So now that at least has the... Oh, you know what I should have done? I absolutely should have lowered all of this in between. That was a blunder. Okay, here's what we're gonna... I feel stupid, but... This is going to require that I get them back over here. Yeah, you know, it just makes sense. It just makes sense. Wait, I can't. I absolutely can't do that because I built on top of it without putting... Alright, you know what? I'm going to leave this alone. I'm going to let it be what it's got to be, and we're going to move on because that's the only thing we can do. Okay, okay. What else makes sense to do? Oh, I was talking about well-being, and then I didn't do that. Okay, what is the biggest opportunity here? We are getting grapes. We can't do wine until we have the what-do-you-call-it. We need the what-do-you-call-it to get to that, so these are all trading things. I don't have any campfires, really? Oh, there is no campfire. That's right. That's why that's not a thing. Rooftop terraces are also not buildable. I think you might get a bonus from some of these upgrades for that. I'm not entirely sure. Observation deck counts for some of those. A dance hall is something I've not researched and I'm not going to. Not yet. Too easy. Too easy. Is that the other billboard? I don't remember. Ah. Your pain is my sustenance. Okay. Well, this is funny. I forgot I hadn't built this yet. Can I just put one of those right there? That'll get us a little bit of points. I can put one of those right there. That will cover actually a decent bit of stuff. Assuming I can actually build these in a couple of locations, and this is honestly just really funny just by itself. Why not? Just stick it somewhere. Alright, so that's going to cover most of that. And then this, I guess I could also put here and will cover a tremendous quantity of beavers. Alright, so that's, you know, easy points. Unless this actually ends up poisoning beavers, which would be incredibly cruel and also completely on brand. Okay, we made a bunch of sandals. Satchels. It's a satchel. Where is my building that was making these? Wait, we have the mod. We can check. We can check. Goods production. Sandals, sandals, sandals is S. That's at the bottom. I remember that part. Oh. I'm making satchels? What? That doesn't make any sense. Or is that the builders use those? Interesting. Okay, well, I think the Seamstress Lodge, yeah, that's the one that was doing that. Okay, let's check the recipes on these things. Oh, it uses rope. Okay, we can... I don't want to build another Seamstress Lodge yet, but since everybody has sandals, we have a huge backstock. Let's change recipes and make some satchels. Not purses, they're satchels. It's different. This is 56. Okay. This has not yet been cleared out, but I'm actually probably able to put stairs in here and get these. Beyond that, I'm not sure. Well, we'll see. Alright, so that's working okay. We're harvesting. Definitely a good idea to have these guys because now... Hey, Bob, we've got more rice over here. This is, also seems to be working out okay. We probably did not fix our half-fermented sake. Where, oh, where... So many items. H. Not a gear you should have to put a car into. I do have 3 buildings making half-fermented sake, and it looks like that is not all being consumed. I do think it's really funny how the goods production is still showing some things that are definitely not being produced in these buildings. Maybe that's just a glitch. I don't know. I'm not smart enough with the modding to understand how all of that works. I mean, science is actually looking pretty okay for most of what we're doing. We've got a decent amount of pumpkins. Maybe it's time to think about making pumpkin chips. Because I know we've got pumpkin storage right here. If I want to make pumpkin chips, that's not the right building even. I believe they're only possible to make in the tent. So, yeah, sunflower oil and salt. This is a great spot to be adding more production because we don't have anything else going on here. And I've got water storage. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I know I don't have a lot of sunflower oil. We probably need to be making more, and... Well, I don't have enough sunflowers to do that, but we do have a geothermal field here that isn't connected to anything. And at least for right now, it would probably not be a bad idea to go ahead and put in a couple of screw presses and just run these before we get too excited. Just run these. Maybe, do I want to? Yeah, they haven't finished this. That's fine. We'll just rotate it. Come on. Oh, that's not the rotate button. There we go. There we go. 2 screw presses. I don't have to have the game paused to do this. I always forget. T intersection with the arrow that way, and then I'll do a T intersection on that as well. That's fine. That's fine. That is actually going to have to be a turn. Somehow I keep missing the correct buttons to push. Alright. These can both be set to sunflower oil for the time being. And, because, you know, we're going to need a ton of it eventually. That can get set to sunflower oil. We can have a storage right across for... No, those go in a pile. I remembered. Maybe. Yeah, I'm not going to worry about turning that around. This can go there. And then, knowing how this works... We don't have to be super, super anal about how this is going through here, but I will get that connected, and I'm going to, before I forget, put in a cooking tent right here, set it to pumpkin chips, and then we are going to need to have a pile for salt. Doesn't necessarily have to be a large pile, but maybe I will, I should just honestly rebuild all this. Grapes, pumpkin chips, pumpkins. Yes, let's create massive chaos by just moving where everything goes. Sounds good to me. So, pumpkins. Pumpkin chips. And a pile... We didn't need grape storage over here. A pile for salt. Salt is currently being made at, I believe... this one. That's not super close. But salt is also... No, salt is not used here. Okay, this doesn't need to be here then. Because the mountain salt can be made in one of these mines. So for now, I'm going to change that. Yeah, you know what? That's going to be better for us to just not have this here. That means I can plant that many more other things, like either cabbages or sunflowers, but it's probably going to be sunflowers. That works. That makes more sense. We probably should build more medium mines. I'm not going to do that right here, but we, for now, at least know that that is it. Look at us getting stuff done today. I love it. I love it. And this is self-contained. Screw press axles, we have 20. Do we have anybody making screw press axles? Let's find out. I love that this mod works. Okay. SC for screw press axles. We have 4 built. Really? We have... Oh, okay, no. Only 2 of them actually making it. That's alright. It would not be a bad idea to have a storage for those over here, so let's do that. Just make a little tiny one. Right there. That just makes sense. Sunflower oil goes in there. We've already made pumpkin chips. We are hopefully going to get other stuff fixed a little bit better. Grapes are doing grape things. This has not been cut because what? Oh, that's not marked. All right, of course. Well, there's your problem. That was, as the kids say, a blunder. That's not going to fit. Okay, I have to remove that because that can become another sequoia. Hopefully it'll let me plant with the grapes still down there. Let's find out. Alright. I think that is going to allow me to do what I want to do. We're going to find out in about 2 seconds. I was wrong. It's not 2 seconds. It is more than 2 seconds. There we go. Okay. That works. This one is still only at 60%. We have this guy already ready to go to cut down the trees, and the rate science is going, we may actually have enough to make the advanced sawmill before those trees are grown. But 150 sunflower oil is going to be a problem, which is part of the reason I've been planting more of that stuff. And having more of these to produce is always going to be a good choice. Outside of that, I don't know that I have anything else I can really, Oh, nice. Well-being high score of 29. I think that may actually be a decent spot to stop for this one. Yeah, you know, there's more stuff that I said that I probably wanted to get into, and, you know, you can always do something else. But I believe this is about the best we can do for right now. So I always appreciate you guys weighing in, giving advice, giving feedback, or just generally saying hi. And of course the Beard Boosters subsidizing everything we're doing here, and especially with all the other stuff I got going on right now, it really makes it a whole lot easier knowing that those folks are keeping the channel afloat and not having to worry so much about how YouTube does or does not promote things. But I'm always going to be appreciative of them and of you, even if you're not on that list. Whatever it is you're doing with the rest of your day, stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you back in this series on Monday. Take care, friends. Bye-bye.